Yesterday, I happened to be in the car listening to the radio when Donald Trump began one of his speeches at one of these rallies he gives in these godforsaken places where people don't even live in New York or L.A. It's hard. I didn't even know there were people out there. But Donald Trump knows there are people out there, and he goes out and he starts to give a speech, and he is getting, kind of more disciplined in his speeches, although he does go off in these hilarious rants sometimes. But anyway, he's talking about the thing that he should be talking about, which is the economy. But I was listening to those figures, which are largely correct. I mean, obviously, Trump has that Carney Barker way of talking where everything is the best ever and the best ever. But, the numbers are real. The numbers are real. He has brought jobs back. The growth in this country has been great. It's obvious he's taken off that incredible weight that Barack Obama put on the country, not just by over-regulating business, not just by being unreliable in what atmosphere he was creating for business, so business couldn't count on what was going to happen next, but also in that just a droning blame of, we're not the country we're supposed to be. I mean, they talk about animal spirits in business, and Obama was the greatest killer of animal spirits ever, and Trump, pumps people up. He loves the country, and everything's going great. But I thought, what are they going to do? And it's just like the picture of Donald Trump that comes out of the Democrat media 24/7 again, that comes out all the time, it's just different than real Trump. It's different than the real Trump. I mean, first of all, the stuff that he's talking about the minority numbers, the things that he has done for the minority communities in this country, if that's what we have to call them. I don't know why they're not just Americans, but we're always identifying them as minorities. He's done amazing things for those communities in terms of the economy, which kind of puts the lie to this whole racist thing, which is all we have heard is racist, racist, racist. They pushed that thing about, there are fine people on both sides until finally they had to admit, we lied to you for 2 years. Now we just won't mention it again, but we'll keep saying he's racist. Two researchers at the University of Pennsylvania, Daniel Hopkins and Samantha Washington, set out to measure the effect of Trump's election on anti-Black and anti-Hispanic prejudice. And the Americans, they say, have become less inclined to express racist opinions since Donald Trump was elected. Anti-Black prejudice, they found, declined by a statistically insignificant degree between 2012 and 2016 when Trump was elected. But then after 2016, when Trump was elected, it took a sharp dive. Anti-Black prejudice after Trump's election took a sharp dive that was statistically significant. Moreover, contrary to their expectations, the fall was as evident among Republican voters as it was among Democrats. There was also a general fall in anti-Hispanic prejudice, too, although this was more evident among Democrat voters. In other words, when you don't have a guy like Obama telling us that everything we do is wrong, that life is injustice, we need to have a conversation about race, as if we haven't been talking about race for the last 50 or 60 years. When you don't have people doing that, we start to react to each other the way we're supposed to, which is as Americans, and it's going away. This is an effect of Donald Trump. So that's a fantasy. The fantasy that Trump is making racism worse, that he's bringing out from under the rock all the evil white supremacists, that white supremacism is a growing problem, which the numbers show that it is not. That is just, you can not like Trump. You can say his policies are wrong. You can disagree with his policies. But I'm talking about fantasy. I'm talking about the difference between fantasy and reality. What you cannot say is that he's a racist or that he has acted in a racist way. You could say that Obama was a racist. He went for 20 years to a racist church. He convicted police officers without any evidence, calling them racist. He tried to take over local police forces with the feds on the grounds that they were racist when the numbers showed they weren't. You could have said that. And you could say we all have glitches. We all have things that come out of our mouth. You can always pick and choose things. But in terms of his actions, in terms of his policies, I don't see how it's possible to make the legitimate argument that this is an actual racist guy.